and I see the world as a mountain, and that we are all mountaineers trying to climb our way to the top. The way you move forward in life is by learning. You learn new skills, you gather insight, you gain knowledge, you meet new people, you have new experiences. Basically, learning by living. But learning on its own is not enough. Just like any mountaineer, you need equipment. You need mountain shoes and a backpack and climbing gear. For me, technology is that equipment that pushes you forward in life. Technology is the tool that allows you to learn and to discover new things. Today we live in a society where information is at our fingertips. The largest human-built encyclopedia, Wikipedia, is accessible for free. You can teach yourself programming or design or mathematics on YouTube, and in a split second, you can find what you're looking for on Google. Anyone can do this, right? Wrong. 52% of the world population does not have regular access to a smartphone or to a computer. The kind of tool you need to start your climb. It's only a couple of years ago that I truly realized and also witnessed that not everyone has everything they need to become a mountaineer. That some of us are just wandering around in the world. They can see that mountain, huh? But there's so many obstacles and so many barriers in front of them that they don't even see where the foot of the mountain is and where they can begin their climb. That's what they call the digital divide. It's the gap between people who have access to modern information and communications technology, ICT, and those who don't have access or who have restricted access. What I mean with that is that people do not have access to telephones, televisions, internet, computers. And I believe that the digital divide is an idea worth sharing. And that's what I'm doing today with you by talking about my personal journey and at the same time by sharing tested ways of how we can collectively address this digital divide. So let's start with my personal journey. I grew up in Belgium in the 1990s, and the first computer we had at home was Windows 95. And I still remember being amazed, seeing my father work on it, and then me afterwards playing a game on it. It's not the only technology memory I have. I also remember the sound, the beeping sound of the dial-up internet, also how slow it was compared to the speed of today. I think a lot of you are familiar with the sound, aren't you? Yeah. I also remember, I think I was 9 or 10 years old, when I took a computer class together with my father and a friend from school and his father. And we learned the basic stuff about computers and how to use them. It was kind of my first digital literacy class. Between that moment in time and today, a lot has of course changed. That first computer, that Windows 95, got replaced by others. And when I grew older, I had a smartphone and a laptop. Looking back, I have to acknowledge that I was lucky. That I was born in a place where we had a computer at home, and that was pretty normal. I was also lucky that I was born in a place, but also at a time where I could learn the skills that are still useful for me today. And that I had the family and the friends and the school and the local community to support me and to give me that little push to set me up in life. Because fast forwarding to today, I'm working as a product owner for Kiron. Kiron is an NGO. It was founded in 2015 during the so-called refugee crisis that hit Europe. And a couple of months later, after it was founded, I joined them because I was so intrigued by the big vision that Kiron had to support refugees who arrived in Germany and wanted to go to university. Because I don't know if you know, but as a refugee, it takes a very long time before you're able to speak German and to get all your documents in order before you can apply to university. That's why Kiron built a platform where you had online courses and where you had guidance and advice on how to apply. And besides that, we also created a partner network of universities that were recognizing that online content. So these 2 years on average was not completely wasted. Since 2015 and today, 5-6 years, we've learned a ton. And every time when we discovered new challenges, we had to come up with new solutions. And we had to adapt our product and our services to the needs of our students. So, what have we learned? Today, I want to share with you 5 insights. The first one is about our main goal. That main goal was to get as many Kiron students as possible into university. I know, it sounds ambitious, and it was. And we successfully managed to get a lot of students into a German university, but at the same time also a lot of them did not get accepted. On top of that, a lot of new students joined our platform, and they were living in countries where we as Kiron did not have an office. And that meant that we could not give them the same support as the students in Germany, because we don't know in every country what the legal and the university landscape looks like. And we don't have the resources to build up these partnerships with universities that recognize that content in every country. So, at the same time, we were noticing that these students were still using our platform, and they were learning skills and learning languages in search for a job, in search to start their own business. That's why we pivoted. We adapted our product, we adapted our curriculum, we adapted our support to meet these new situations and to meet the new opportunities. The second thing I want to share with you is something I learned while working together with our teams in Jordan and in Lebanon. And they told us that the digital literacy levels of some of our students is rather low. Because you cannot assume that everyone who has a mobile phone or everyone who has a computer has also the right skills to use them, especially the skills that are needed to learn, to live, to work in a digital society. So we did 2 things. One, we created, together with partners, already 3 digital literacy courses. And 2, we simplified, and technically we keep on simplifying our platform every day, because the more simpler it is to use, the more familiar it feels, the more natural it feels, the more easier it is, and more people can use it. The third thing I want to share with you is language, especially English. I mean, most of the content, most of the internet is in English, and everyone speaks English, right? No. It's a fact that 17% of the world population speaks English natively or as a second language. So that means that 4 out of 5 people in the world have potentially extra barriers while accessing the internet. And especially while studying online, because the big majority of the educational content is in English. So, what did we do? We translated our campus in multiple languages, and we also started adding Arabic content to our curriculum. The fourth thing that I want to share with you is about the need for computers and devices. When these students in 2015 arrived in Germany, they didn't have a computer with them. They had a smartphone, and back then it was hard, and still today it is hard to study a course online, because so many of the websites, so many of the content is only made for computers. And of course, we've tried to make computers accessible for students over the last years, but we cannot give every student a computer. So that's why it's so important that we build mobile first. Talking about building platforms, that's the last point I want to do, is the need for low bandwidth and inclusive platforms. Did you know that 40% of the world population does not have access to the internet, or it is super expensive? We have a student, his name is Honoré. He's from Congo, he currently lives in Malawi, and he is amazing. He is one of our community leaders, and he's every time engaging and motivating and welcoming other students. And it's really great to see that. But at the same time, it feels as well frustrating knowing that he has to pay expensive internet bundles to be able to study online. That's why we built a low bandwidth Android app, and we keep on building alternatives for users who have shaky internet connections. These 5 lessons bring us to today. And as I said, every time when we discovered new challenges, we had to come up with new opportunities and new solutions, and we had to adapt our product to it. The challenge we have today is the following. We know that online learning, pure online learning, is not enough. And that to be really successful with online learning, you need to have a community around it. You have to make the content relevant, so that makes to localize it. You need to provide local support. We also know that we as Kiron cannot open an office in every country, and that we cannot provide that local offline support, and that others maybe can. And we also know if we want to achieve the impact that we want to achieve, we need to work together. That's why we decided to launch the Collective Impact Campus. We decided to open up our technology, to open up our platform for other NGOs, so that they can run their own online learning program, so that they can reach their communities and manage their learners in a more effective and efficient way. These partners bring that understanding of the local context, and they bring that local support to the table, and we provide them with a private space on our platform and the tools and the support what is needed to digitalize their content. But Collective Impact Campus is more than just a platform. It's also a collective of organizations that want to work together, that want to work together by sharing insights, by sharing best practices, by maybe even sharing opportunities for their learners. And on top of that, we as Kiron want to enable them as well to exchange content and allow them to collaborate together so that more and more and more programs get recognized. Because if programs get recognized, it means that students who graduate from these programs have more opportunities out there, and that they can start or continue their climb on their mountain. And I believe this is possible. No, I truly believe this because technology can do that. Technology is amazing. Technology has created so many opportunities, has lowered so many barriers. I mean, let's be honest. Without technology, I would not be standing here in front of you today and share you my ideas. And technology, and especially artificial intelligence, will only boost our society forward in the next coming years. And that's why it is super, super crucial that we make sure that technology does not leave more people behind. Because I truly believe that if we all actively and collectively work together to create more access to content, to devices, to the internet, and at the same time teach digital skills, we can together make sure that there's a world where more mountaineers can find their own pathway on the mountain of learning.